Moderna's COVID immunization discovered to be almost 95% viable in a starter examination. Ariyans, we're ready to tell you about it. Subscribe to our channel and join to know more. Biotechnology firm Moderna declared Monday that a starter investigation shows its trial COVID immunization is almost 95% compelling at forestalling ailment, including extreme cases, a striking introductory outcome that raises the possibility that the United States could have two COVID antibodies accessible on a restricted premise before the year's over. Biotechnology firm Moderna reported Monday that a starter investigation shows its exploratory COVID immunization is almost 95% compelling at forestalling disease, including serious cases, a striking introductory outcome that raises the possibility that the United States could have two COVID antibodies accessible on a restricted premise before the year's over. The news comes 7 days after drug Goliath Pfizer and its German accomplice BioNTech lifted the securities exchange and individuals' expectations with the news that their COVID immunization was in excess of 90% successful. The declaration sent stocks up once more, with the Dow Jones Modern Normal and the S&P 500 shutting at record highs. Moderna's offer value rose in excess of 9%. The resoundingly comparable outcomes from two antibody competitors were significantly more energizing to certain researchers than a week ago's news, recommending that the astounding outcomes from Pfizer's immunization were not an erratic and that the overall methodology being utilized by different immunization endeavors was the correct one. I was so energized a week ago, however, then somewhat apprehensive in light of the fact that I realized Moderna was coming behind, said Kathleen Noisel, overseer of the Center for Vaccine Development at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. This fair wraps everything up for me. Ellipsis. This result has been copied and fulfilled the logical rule that it is genuine. In any case, regardless of whether the two immunizations get an administrative green light in coming weeks and the main shots become accessible in December, they will be restricted. There will be sufficient of the two antibodies to inoculate 20 million individuals that month, with additionally opening up in 2021 as creation increase and other immunization up-and-comers may demonstrate fruitful. Individuals who are not in a high-hazard gathering, for example, fundamental specialists, more established individuals and those with hidden conditions, are not prone to begin approaching shots until April, and that period of the exertion will take months. Conveying the immunization will be a considerable recommendation, requiring elaborate coordination among the government, states, drug organizations and medical care suppliers. We ought not let the achievement of a successful immunization have us feel we can allow our gatekeeper to down. Truth be told, it should be a motivation to fall down, Anthony S. Fauci, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said at a preparation. We at last have the cooperative energy between an immunization and the general well-being measures, which will get us out of this extremely troublesome circumstance we're in. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, chief general of the World Health Organization, repeated those worries and instructions. This isn't the ideal opportunity for lack of concern, Tedros said. While we keep on getting empowering news about coronavirus antibodies and remain circumspectly idealistic about the potential for new devices to begin to show up in the coming months, at the present time we're incredibly worried by the flooding cases we are finding in certain nations. Moderna's two-portion immunization, co-created with Fauci's foundation, is being tried in 30,000 individuals. Half got two dosages of the antibody, and half got a fake treatment, to test how well the antibody functions. Doctors firmly checked suggestive instances of coronavirus, the illness brought about by the infection, to see whether they overwhelmingly happened in individuals who got the fake treatment. Moderna has focused on finishing its preliminary prior to applying for crisis use approval, which means holding up until there are 151 instances of coronavirus in the examination. A past projection indicated that the preliminary may end ahead of schedule 1 year from now, however it is rather expected to arrive at its endpoint in 7 to 10 days, Bansal stated. In light of flooding COVID cases in the United States, the blast of infection cases converts into an assisted capacity to discover whether an antibody works. The organization will have enough well-being information to help an application without further ado prior to Thanksgiving. Bansal envisions that if an antibody is cleared by controllers, the primary dosages could open up to those at high danger in the second 50% of December. In contrast to Pfizer, which contributed $2 billion of its own cash in exploring and building up an antibody, Moderna is important for Operation Warp Speed. The public authority activity intended to delete the monetary danger of immunization and therapeutics advancement by giving forthright financing to organizations and helping coordinate their preliminaries. Moderna got almost $1 billion from the U.S. government to help innovative work. The organizations both have agreements to offer 100 million portions to the U.S. government. Moderna ventures it can deliver 20 million portions before the year's over, enough for 10 million individuals to get the 2 shots. Government authorities said that they extended Pfizer would have at any rate 20 million portions by the end of the year. It is likewise a 2-portion shot, in spite of the fact that the organization has said it is focusing on 50 million dosages worldwide. Moderna intends to deliver in any event 500 million dosages 1 year from now, with the chance of scaling up to 1 billion portions relying upon the accessibility of crude materials. Pfizer expects to make 1.3 billion dosages in 2021. The results of Moderna's antibody were generally gentle or moderate, including torment at the infusion site, exhaustion, migraine and muscle torment, as per the organization's news discharge. Controllers at the FDA must survey the proof for the Moderna and Pfizer antibodies. Yet the hearty early sign of progress recommends the 2 immunizations may open up to high-chance populaces before the finish of this current year. That would begin a continuous cycle of immunizing the whole populace, one that administration authorities anticipated implied that high-hazard gatherings of individuals would be inoculated over the initial not many months of the year, with antibody getting all the more broadly accessible to sound, more youthful grown-ups beginning in April. The 2 victories could have gradually expanding influences that impact the continuous preliminaries and on future COVID antibody examines. Individuals presently partaking in the Moderna and Pfizer preliminaries don't know whether they got the genuine immunization or fake treatment, and sooner or later, the individuals who got a fake treatment might be traversed to get the genuine article. However, the choice to do that will mean a deficiency of significant information. Given these items will be given to conceivably billions of individuals, you must be mindful so as to ensure they're protected and powerful. And there's no simple path around that issue, said Ira Longini, a biostatistics master at the University of Florida, who said a time of development on members would be ideal. The attention on antibodies will before long move to the overwhelming coordinations of assembling and dissemination. The Pfizer immunization requires ultra-cold capacity conditions, less 70 degrees Celsius, not broadly accessible in average inoculation settings. The organization has been attempting to beat that constraint. Moderna declared Monday that its antibody can be steady at fridge temperatures for a month and frozen for as long as a half year. It won't need weakening at the purpose of CUR, in contrast to the Pfizer immunization. That could imply that the antibodies are appropriated to various types of areas, with the Moderna immunization more qualified for rustic zones or places without specific coolers, as indicated by Matthew Hepburn, the antibody chief for Operation Warp Speed. Thank you for sharing information with Ariyans. Stay tuned. Subscribe to our channel. Ariyans, we always with you.